FNC, America's Black News Channel. Watch 15 minutes. Share with everyone. Finally, news that speaks to us.
It's a sad situation there. For more perspective, I want to bring in our political contributor, Ameshia Cross and Joyce Davis. She's the president and CEO of the World Affairs Council of Harrisburg and former associate director of broadcasting for Radio Free Europe. Good morning to you, ladies. Ameshia, let's start off with you. So President Biden, the U.S., they've thrown sanctions at President Putin. Just yesterday banning Russian oil and energy, sending arms over to Poland for defensive measures. But from a political standpoint, what more can the president do to stop this carnage?
Well, first and foremost, we have to level set around the sanctions that were actually put on Russia. This is unprecedented when it comes to America as well as our European allies drawing the line in the sand on sanctions and basically developing sanctions to cripple Russia. We're talking about forcing them to abandon the SWIFT. We're talking about major banks basically shutting down funding to them. We're talking about what we've seen from the social media companies that have dropped out of even allowing Russians to use them, as well as the streaming services. Time and time again, Russia has taken a hit. With all that being said, very little has stopped Putin's offensive. He is beating the drum. He is basically fully charged on trying to not only take over Ukraine, but also to disrupt the NATO alliance and continue pushing forward. This is something where I feel like what we're seeing today with more funds being segmented basically for the Ukrainian people to ensure that their safety, but also to make sure that there is some stability left within the Ukraine. At the end of the day, there has to be a force into the mind of Putin, which is extremely difficult because this is a guy who has been known to be an egomaniac. This is a guy who will and has murdered his own people. And this is a guy who will not change once he has made a decisive decision, specifically around these invasions. He is willing to press go on weapons of mass destruction, and we have to take that very seriously.
Yeah, he seems like a madman already committing a lot of war crimes. He seems like he's hell-bent on carrying out his mission no matter what, even if it kills a lot more civilians. Joyce, let me talk about the energy, banning the Russian oil and energy yesterday. Even President Biden said it's not as big of a deal for us. Only 10% of our energy comes from Russia. As the Western nations, they rely heavily more so on the Russian oil and the energy there. But it will affect us in our pockets. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the gas prices have already gone up 8 cents over yesterday, which was already at a record high. How much longer do you see that ban continuing to go when it comes to us over here in the United States and banning the Russian oil and energy?
Well, it's anyone's guess how long this will last, but it will last. It will hit us. This is the oil market is a global market, so that even if we only rely for about, actually, I think it's under 10% of our oil directly from Russia, other countries rely on. And that takes that oil out of the global market, pushing up the price, right? So there are ways over the long term to deal with this. Within a year, we probably could be producing enough to deal with it, but you got to get through this period. And I just believe that right now we just got to brace. If this is all we're going to face, and we consider people and their children are being bombarded in another country, we're pretty lucky. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, compared to what the Ukrainian people are going through right now, having to flee their country and their homes and being bombarded with bombs, absolutely, we're much more blessed than they are over there right now, but we are continuing to pray for them. Ameshia, McDonald's, Starbucks, Coke, latest companies to suspend business in Russia. Are you surprised how quickly the West has come together to isolate Putin?
Absolutely not. Part of this is a PR war for some of the private sector industry that we've seen pull out of Russia. But the other part is you cannot in good faith watch as women, children are running out and trying to find safety however they can. As we've seen some people, even grandmothers, arm themselves in this fight against Putin. What we've seen from President Zelensky in Ukraine is something that is unmatched, I think, in many countries when it comes to a president who knows there's a target on his back. When it comes to a president who was just a few years ago the voice of Ukraine's Paddington Bear. This is a guy who has stood up and said that he is going to fight for his country by any means necessary, but is also sending appeals to the U.S. and sending appeals to the entire West on any assistance that he could possibly get, as he understands the threat of Russia. And he's understood it for quite some time at this point. I think that the private sector is being smart in acknowledging what the dire straits that Ukraine happens to be in right now. And they are proof positive that when we all work together, we can shut some things down.
Zelensky, he's become a symbol of resilience and courage. When you look at what he's been able to do in his leadership, and remember, this is a former comedian, a former actor, but he has been at the heart of this whole matter and the symbol that he's sending out across the world. What kind of impact does this type of leadership have, Joyce?
Oh, it has a profound impact. You always need a leader who's willing to stand up, first of all, to be a good communicator. He's communicating to the world the plight that the Ukrainian people are in, but he's communicating something more. When a bully starts bullying, you're going to get bullied too. So it's not just Ukraine that we have to worry about now. We've all talked about a global war. That's why Poland wants to send fighter jets and to increase the ability of the Ukrainian people to defend themselves. We don't want that. Apparently, the U.S. has rejected that. But let me tell you, all those countries around the perimeter of Ukraine are terrified. Much of Europe is terrified. Because let me tell you, no one should believe now that Putin is just a jokester or that he is just, bluffing. Zelensky knows that Putin is dangerous. He knows that he has nuclear weapons, and he knows that he will use them. And as we've heard, Putin doesn't care about even his own people. And he's in the battle of his lifetime. And I fear that if he sees himself going down, he's going to take as many people down with him as he can.
Yeah, that's everybody's fear right now. And when you think about right now, Britney Greiner, who is a WNBA superstar, is over there being held because of being stopped at the airport for allegedly having hashish, some paraphernalia, I should say, or some marijuana or whatnot in her luggage. When you think about where Putin in his mindset is and she being over there, Ameshia, does that bring pause to you? How does that make you feel? What kind of emotion does that evoke?
It absolutely brings pause. One, because Britney Greiner, she's a WNBA superstar. She's also a black woman. At the core of this, she's a black woman. And we know that Russia has long since been trying to utilize the United States race war, basically, to bolster its own missions. And having a black woman in custody who represents so much for the United States, I think puts us in a very perilous position, because he could amplify and make things and make this somewhat of a much more toxic situation, essentially a possible hostage level situation. He could amplify and create the type of dissonance that he's always been looking for, specifically trying to rile the black community up against democracies in general. And we saw him do that during the last presidential election, during the Trump presidential election, and we saw him continue to do it after former President Trump was actually elected. And now we see that, and we understand that the reason why Russian state media released this information with the quickness, once they saw that the United States wasn't going to say anything, once they released it, it was largely because they wanted to create that separatism amongst black people. It was while we were still on the heels of hearing about all the black refugees or African refugees who were not being admitted into places like Poland and other places they were trying to receive refugee status in and safe harbor. This is a very strategic move on the part of Russia and Russian state media. Make no mistake, he has a plan.
Yeah, this is far from over. This man is willing to do any and everything to carry out his mission once again.